Now let's look at testing. Section 7.3.6.1. It's in fact 7.3.5 talks about design and development verification, and 7.3.6 talks about design and validation. The verification can be done by reviews. Validation normally is done by testing. Many years ago, the testing that was done was largely system testing, but that's many years ago. For the last maybe 15 years, there has been an increasing number of tools available for some form of testing or other, starting with unit testing, going through integration testing, regression testing, acceptance testing, system testing, and a whole variety of white box, gray box, black box, all manner of testing. Testing is becoming a very specialized form. Unfortunately, it's no longer the case where testers are regarded as being people who couldn't quite hack it as programmers. Now, good testers are very valuable people, and a very talented tester is quite a different species. I have had the fortune of meeting James Bach, who's one of the top testers in the world, and he gets paid a lot. Because he's such a talented tester. And I do have dealings with a number of organizations that specialize in testing, and it really is getting around to the stage where testers are becoming more valuable than developers. The reason for that is that developers sort of get it working once, where testers have to figure out how it can fail. All of the ways it can fail. And they tend to have a wider understanding of the software, or they tend to need to have a wider understanding of the software than does the developer. So very soon it's going to be a case where the tester is more important than the developer. Anyway, where it comes to validation, as I say, it normally means testing. And any project really ought to be playing its unit testing, it's integration testing. Integration testing is extremely important. Reason being that frequently now you're integrating code that might have been developed locally with code that was developed outsourced, with components that were built in from somewhere, with a packet that was somewhere. Integration becomes extremely important. And it's extremely important to actually be able to test the integration. So becoming a big field. Regression testing also becoming very important because the number of changes, the number of fixes, new releases that come out, you need to be able to do regression testing. Now that, fortunately, is mostly fairly automated now, and that has made a significant difference to software products as they're developed. So automated testing has made all this difference. So we now get unit testing, which is usually automated. Integration testing can be automated. Regression testing, usually automated. Now, acceptance testing and system testing might or might not be automated, but they still have to be done. System testing can be a significant affair, particularly if it's a large new product. I can think of things like a new submarine or something like that. By the time you finish testing that, you really ought to have done some work. Those kind of system tests can take a significant amount of time. Most of the time, though, system testing, I don't know, maybe a month, and should really go through all the functionality. Now, one of the other tests that usually falls out of this is what would you call it, a startup test or health check test. So how would you construct a test that would assure everybody that the system is currently healthy? That's whatever fault it is not the system, it's something else. Maybe it's the network, or maybe it's the server or something like that. The system itself is healthy. So a health check test is frequently coming out as well. So that's something in ISO 9001 which is specific and peculiar to software, or interpreted differently for software, and that's the validation. Normally you're talking about the testing, the testing goes on all the way through the development.